After my girlfriend ran away from home for the 10th time, I saw her at the entrance of a hotel with her male childhood friend. She was bragging smugly. Men are all pathetic creatures. You can't treat them too well, you have to keep them on edge. I've got my bestie Fang Yu keeping an eye on him for me. When the timing's right, I'll make my grand reappearance. When I got home and saw Fang Yu, my beautiful and virtuous bestie, helping me wash my underwear, I approached her from behind, gently grasping her soft fingers. My nose brushed past her ear, almost intentionally. Fang Yu, since Su Wanwan doesn't want me anymore, why don't we give it a shot? 1. After Su Wanwan ran away from home for the 10th time, I unexpectedly saw her on the street. She was standing outside the Qingnan Hotel with a group of friends, looking proud of herself. Wanwan, you've been gone for half a month this time, haven't you? So what if I have? Su Wanwan replied nonchalantly. Oh no, Gao Tian must be going out of his mind with worry. Yeah, he cares about you so much. How can you bear to leave him? Exactly. Don't be too willful. Go back already. A man's patience has its limits. Su Wanwan lazily interrupted them. Run away. Of course, it's all fake. Men need to be kept in a constant state of tension, that's how they stick to you like glue. I've got Fang Yu helping me gather intel. When the time's right, I'll make my reappearance. Wanwan, your strategy is impressive. How did you come up with the idea of running away in the first place? Of course, it was me. A guy beside her confidently put his arm around Su Wanwan's shoulder. With her little brain, how could she think of such a brilliant idea herself? Su Wanwan playfully punched him, laughing. Get lost, Zhou. But once it works, I'll make sure to reward you handsomely. The guy smirked, leaning closer to her face. With his slender fingers, he lifted her chin. Wanwan, and how exactly do you plan to reward me? I didn't confront her. Instead, I silently withdrew to the corner of the street. Then, I went to the supermarket and bought plenty of vegetables and meat, along with a trip to an adult store. When I got home, I approached Fang Yu, who was in the kitchen making soup. Any news about Wanwan? No. I leaned in, letting my nose brush past her ear, almost teasingly. What should I do? This time, it seems like Wanwan really doesn't want me anymore. Originally, I had planned to visit the Qingnan Hotel to ask my aunt for help. She's been running a chain of hotels in the Qingnan area for decades and has a wide network. The first time Su Wanwan ran away from home, my aunt was the one who helped me find her. Back then, I knocked on her door for an hour before she finally opened it. Her long hair was slightly messy, and she leaned softly against the small table in the entryway. I had been looking for her for 3 days, unable to eat or sleep, frantic with worry. Without a word, I rushed in and pinned her onto the bed with reddened eyes. Ji Gao Tian, are you crazy? Wanwan, I am crazy. You disappeared without a word. Do you know how it feels to have your heart burn with worry? Gao Tian, stop. Su Wanwan cried out pitifully, but I ignored her protests, determined to teach her a lesson. Will you run away again? I panted into her ear. Do you dare to? She clung to my neck, her tearful eyes filled with pity. Gao Tian, I swear I won't run away again. But once it happened the first time, it kept happening. Over the past 3 years, her disappearances became more frequent. If I said the wrong thing or didn't meet her expectations, she would vanish without a trace. I'd grown tired of this game of cat and mouse long ago. I'd tried discussing it with her many times, but she seemed to enjoy it, even thrive on it. This time, though, I was going to disappoint her. 2. At noon, I sipped on the soup Fang Yu had made. Today's special was mutton and goji berry soup, a nourishing treat, and it tasted fantastic. Gao Tian, it's all my fault. If only I had stopped Wanwan that day. This time, Su Wanwan had chosen Fang Yu's place as her first stop after running away. According to Fang Yu, as soon as my call came through to her phone, Su Wanwan guessed it was me, ignored all of Fang Yu's attempts to persuade her, grabbed her bag, and bolted out of the apartment. It's not your fault. Wanwan's stubborn streak is unstoppable. After lunch, Fang Yu got up, and I thought she was about to leave. To my surprise, she picked up the laundry basket and headed into the bathroom. An hour later, she appeared on the balcony. To my shock, she had even washed my underwear. In the 3 years I'd been with Su Wanwan, I'd always been the one to do the laundry. The clothesline on the balcony was a little high, and Fang Yu had to stand on her tiptoes to reach it. With her slender, soft white fingers, she carefully smoothed out the wrinkles in the clothes. In the sunlight, her hand seemed to glow. Fang Yu, why haven't you found a boyfriend yet? I'm looking, but I haven't met the right one, Fang Yu replied nonchalantly as she continued hanging the clothes. What kind of guy do you like? I've got a few single buddies. I can keep an eye out for you. I have a thing for tall guys about your height. He should be caring, have sexy lips, and ideally a body that's lean in clothes but muscular without, preferably with 8-pack abs, Fang Yu said. I chuckled. Fang Yu, why do I feel like I've heard of someone like that before? Standing behind her, I reached out to grasp her hand as she hung clothes. My fingers slid through hers, gently kneading the damp fabric of a pair of underwear. Fang Yu, since Su Wanwan doesn't want me anymore, why don't you take me in? With my other hand, I wrapped an arm around her slim waist, pulling her lightly toward me. Su Wanwan has been gone for half a month, and you've been making me nourishing soups for just as long. You owe me now, I teased. Behind her, my lips brushed ever so lightly against her ear, cheek, and neck. Gao Tian, you. I didn't let her finish. In the next second, I turned her around and kissed her deeply. Fang Yu is a graduate of a prestigious university and now works as a designer at a foreign enterprise. She has fair, delicate skin, big eyes, a swan-like neck, and a stunning figure. To outsiders, she is reserved and distant, like an unattainable ice flower blooming on a cliff. We hadn't spoken much over the years. The first time I met her was at a job fair right after graduating from college, with Su Wanwan by my side. She was quietly seated at one of the recruitment booths. Her beauty left me in awe. It was the kind of beauty that felt pure and untouched, like a gentle breeze under the moonlight. When she spoke to me, her bright eyes sparkled like stars. I submitted my resume. Later, Su Wanwan told me that she had secretly slipped Fang Yu a red envelope. Since Fang Yu was her close friend, she agreed to help. Otherwise, a recent graduate like me wouldn't have stood a chance at a company as prestigious as hers. Technically, Fang Yu was my immediate superior. During team dinners, Su Wanwan always insisted on inviting her along. Fang Yu would sit quietly, drinking and eating, rarely participating in our couple-centered conversations. The day Su Wanwan ran away, Fang Yu showed up. She felt guilty for not stopping Su Wanwan from leaving. She said she came by to check on me and make sure I was eating properly. From that day on, I had nourishing soups every day for half a month. Fang Yu kept changing the recipes, and I never got tired of them. But this morning, while washing my face, I couldn't stop a nosebleed. 3. I used to think of Fang Yu as a snow lotus, untouchable and untainted. But it turns out she's incredibly capable doing laundry, cooking, and tending to plants like a natural. When I got home, she would circle behind me and massage my stiff neck. Her technique was unique, sending a pleasant tingling sensation from my neck to the base of my skull. Fang Yu's warmth and care were worlds apart from Su Wanwan's. For 3 years, I cooked and did laundry for Su Wanwan, only for her to nitpick endlessly. This time, her runaway act was triggered because she came home drunk at 1 a.m. after drinking with Gao Tian and some others. I scolded her maybe a bit too harshly. The next morning, I woke up to find the bed empty. She'd run off again. It wasn't until today that I realized her runaway strategy came from Zhou Bo. Zhou Bo is her childhood friend, and the two are so close they don't hesitate to drape their arms around each other in front of me. The last time she ran away, my aunt pulled every string she had, combing through the guest records of nearly every hotel in Qingnan, but we couldn't find her. Now, I'm almost certain she had been hiding at Zhou Bo's place. This time, to better keep tabs on me, she even roped her bestie Fang Yu into her scheme. At that moment, Fang Yu was in the bathroom, her graceful silhouette outlined against the glass door. Earlier, I had pinned her to the bed for 3 hours. Only when we used up all the strawberry-flavored items I bought did I reluctantly let her go. Her phone, lying on the nightstand, had been ringing incessantly. It wasn't password protected, so I opened it and checked her chat with Su Wanwan. Their conversation ended yesterday morning. Su Wanwan, did Gao Tian go to work today? Fang Yu, no, he took 5 days off to look for you. There goes his perfect attendance bonus this month. Su Wanwan, who cares about a bonus? I'm way more important than his money, hee hee. Seeing this, I couldn't help but chuckle coldly. Su Wanwan, your monthly makeup expenses alone are 3,000. You never wear the same outfit twice, your car needs gas and maintenance, and there's rent and utilities all paid by me. Without money, how am I supposed to support you? I scrolled further. Fang Yu, if you don't love him, just break up. Stop clinging to one tree. Su Wanwan, I do love him. Running away is just one of the ways I show I care about him. Fang Yu. Su Wanwan, sis, you don't get it, do you? Men are pathetic. You can't be too nice to them. A little bit of pain makes the relationship spicier. Fang Yu didn't reply to that. A notification popped up from a group chat that caught my attention. The group was called Runaway Princess Quest for Happiness. Runaway Princess, Fang Yu just told me that Gao Tian is still on leave, searching the whole world for me. Bro the greatest, Princess, wasn't my idea brilliant? Runaway Princess, haha, just wait. I'll reward you handsomely. Bro the greatest, see you tonight at X bar, same spot. Don't forget to wear that lace low-cut dress. Runaway Princess, no way. That's the dress I just bought today. I'm saving it for the day Gao Tian finds me. Bro the greatest immediately sent a crying emoji. Runaway Princess, fine, I'll make an exception tonight. You get an early preview. Bro the greatest quickly responded with a suggestive sticker. Someone named Half the World commented, looks like Gao might be getting the short end of the stick soon. Runaway Princess, oh, come on. Bo and I are just brothers, no guilt, no fear. I snorted. Su Wanwan, your ability to deceive yourself is impressive. A new message popped up. Su Wanwan sent a private chat to Fang Yu. Su Wanwan, Fang Yu, has Gao Tian asked you about that night? I replied on Fang Yu's behalf, typing a single question mark. 4. Su Wanwan, you know, the last time I ran away. I got drunk, and when I woke up, I found myself in the same bed as Bo. I mimicked Fang Yu's tone. You and Bo are brothers sharing a bed doesn't mean anything, right? Su Wanwan, ugh, but he's still a guy. So embarrassing, I don't want to talk about it. She added a warning for Fang Yu, remember, if Gao Tian asks, just say I went home with you that night. Now it made sense why Bo looked at Su Wanwan the way a hungry cat stares at a mouse. Turns out, this cat had already had a taste of stolen treats. Lately, I stopped looking for Su Wanwan, which seemed to unsettle her. She called Fang Yu 3 times in one night, asking if I'd gone to work, how my mood was, and whether I was eating properly. The last call came while Fang Yu and I were having fun. I grabbed her phone and turned on the speaker. Su Wanwan's voice sounded agitated. Fang Yu, what's going on? It's been 2 days, and I haven't seen a single missed call. So, she had taken me off her block list, hoping for some reaction. Hello. Fang Yu, are you listening? He's probably too busy, Fang Yu stammered. Fang Yu, what are you doing? Is there a man with you? I deliberately made a noise, and Fang Yu couldn't suppress a gasp. Wow, Fang Yu, have you found yourself a boyfriend? Sorry, did I interrupt something? Before she could finish, I couldn't hold back any longer. Baby, it's my turn now, I whispered softly into Fang Yu's left ear. Fang Yu's voice became incoherent, and there was a moment of silence on the other end. Fang Yu, who are you with? That voice, it sounded like Gao. I didn't let her finish, ending the call with a swipe. Baby, focus. Let us finish what we started first. 20 minutes later, Fang Yu emerged from the bathroom, worry written all over her face. Gao Tian, aren't you afraid? What if Su Wanwan storms back in a rage? I gently tapped her cheek with my cigarette-holding hand. Fang Yu, why did you agree to monitor me for Su Wanwan in the first place? Fang Yu froze. Gao Tian, how did you know? I smiled. I ran into Su Wanwan on the street. I know who the mastermind is, and I also know you're part of her plan. Are you angry? She asked hesitantly. Why would I be? I'm grateful it was you who came to monitor me. Why do you say that? Leaning down, I kissed her slightly swollen lips. Fang Yu, I don't love Su Wanwan anymore. I admit I once loved her deeply, but now I'm exhausted. Fang Yu, do you know what men hate the most? She shook her head. Unfaithfulness, I said with a bitter edge to my voice. It wasn't just Su Wanwan's willfulness that had worn me out, but the ambiguous relationship she had with Zhou Bo. Their constant flirtation, both overt and subtle, hadn't escaped my notice. Even her runaway stunts were orchestrated by Zhou Bo. Although I hadn't caught them in bed together, my imagination filled in the gaps. Fang Yu lowered her head, her hair falling to cover half her face. When she looked up again, her bright eyes shimmered with tears. Gao Tian, am I also a terrible person? A despicable homewrecker? I took her hand. Fang Yu, don't blame yourself. Even without you, Su Wanwan and I wouldn't have lasted. It's just that you happened to enter my world, and I happen to love you. Leaning close to her ear, I whispered, baby, can you do something for me? 5. What I asked Fang Yu to do was simple, keep Su Wanwan calm and let her continue with her runaway scheme. In the group chat Runaway Princess Quest for Happiness, Fang Yu sent a message. Wanwan, Gao Tian just told me he hurt his ankle after falling into a drain while looking for you tonight. Then, I had Fang Yu take a picture of my ankle and post it in the group. Runaway Princess, oh no. I'm done playing. The game ends here. I'm going back. Bo Bro the greatest, Su Wanwan, are you stupid? He's obviously bluffing. Runaway Princess, I'm so worried. Gao Tian has never lied to me before. Bo Bro the greatest, did he say which hospital? I'll go check and see. Fang Yu, he said South City Hospital, in the emergency room. South City Hospital was right next to Zhou Bo's place. It wouldn't be hard for him to check. Sure enough, Zhou Bo, the genius strategist, immediately replied, I'll go check now. If he's lying, we'll know soon enough. Just 10 minutes later, Bo Bro the greatest triumphantly announced in the group chat. I told you. That guy is totally lying to you. I asked, and there's no such person in the emergency room. Runaway Princess, a pity play. Bo Bro the greatest, exactly. What a fool. He probably thought that spreading this news would make you show up immediately. Ha. He underestimated me. His trick is no match for my wits. Bo Bro the greatest continued to encourage Su Wanwan. Let him stew for a few more days. Wait until he's completely desperate and out of moves, then you show up. That's when it'll hit the hardest. Half the world, don't take it too far. Know when to stop. Runaway Princess, I'm worried about that too. Bo Bro the greatest, trust me. If you go back now, all your effort will be wasted. Every time you run away in the future, he'll pull the same pity stunt. The chat fell silent. As expected, in the middle of the night, Su Wanwan snuck back. She quietly opened the door and crept toward the bedroom. The bedroom door was left ajar, and the room reeked of alcohol. Bottles were strewn across the nightstand and the floor. Even in my pretend drunken state, I murmured her name in my sleep. When setting up the scene, Fang Yu had worried that Su Wanwan might feel sorry for me and rush over to comfort me. I had smiled faintly and said, she won tea. She always listens to Zhou Bo. He's her god. If he tells her to keep me hanging, she won tea disobey. Sure enough, she relaxed and quietly backed out of the room. What she didn't know was that Fang Yu was actually sleeping in the adjacent bedroom. Early the next morning, Su Wanwan called Fang Yu. Did Gao Tian go to work today? Fang Yu, no, he said he drank too much last night, his stomach hurts, and he took the day off again. Su Wanwan sighed in relief but then said suspiciously. Fang Yu, your boyfriend's voice sounds a lot like Gao Tian's. If I hadn't snuck back last night, I might have thought. Fang Yu chuckled. He loves you so much. How could he ever allow a third person to come between you two? Unless what? Su Wanwan's tone suddenly grew tense. Unless you cheated first, becoming the third party yourself. Su Wanwan gasped. My dear sister. We've known each other for so long. You wouldn't betray me and spill what I told you, would you? Fang Yu smiled faintly. Of course not. He loves you, and you love him. True love is unbreakable. Su Wanwan, regaining her confidence, started to boast. Exactly. The more I act this way, the tighter Gao Tian clings to me. Honestly, sometimes it's a bit annoying. Sis, when you find a boyfriend, don't pick someone who tries to control your every move. Freedom is better. What Fang Yu didn't know was that Su Wanwan had pursued me first. In college, she clung to me every day. She'd buy me meals and deliver them to my dorm, call me in the mornings to wake me up, save me a seat in class and sign me in. On the basketball court, whenever I scored, she'd cheer and jump in admiration. Over time, everyone assumed she was my girlfriend. By junior year's Valentine's Day, she rushed on stage in front of all our classmates and confessed her feelings to me. Gradually, I developed feelings for her too. But once she had me, her true colors emerged. Selfish and domineering, she played by her own rules while demanding I follow hers. If I so much as spoke a word to another girl, she'd immediately give me the cold shoulder. Yet she herself flirted openly with Zhou Bo. Whenever I confronted her, she'd defend herself, saying Zhou Bo was like a sister to her because they'd known each other since childhood. Over the years, even our mutual friends knew I had a jealous girlfriend. Even female classmates didn't dare invite me to their weddings. The only thing that kept us together was the chemistry we shared in bed. Before Fang Yu, she was the only woman I had ever slept with. Her soft body and the way she moaned my name always left me craving more. But after her 10th dramatic runaway, I was truly exhausted. Fang Yu's appearance felt like a ray of light, illuminating my life. She showed me what love truly was. Love is about mutual giving, not one-sided taking. While I admit men are creatures driven by physical desires, we still long to be cherished and respected. What I couldn't get from Su Wanwan, Fang Yu gave me effortlessly. I prepared a grand surprise for Su Wanwan. 6. 2 days later, on a Saturday, I called Zhou Bo. Zhou Bo, Wanwan's been gone for a month now. This time, she's really done with me. I deliberately sounded distraught. Our wedding is in 3 months. We can't cancel it, the arrangements are made, and everyone knows about it. So what? Zhou Bo's voice was laced with tension. So, I've decided to move on. A few days ago, I met a girl and decided to marry her right away. And one more thing, seeing her things makes me think of her. I need to take responsibility for the new girl in my life. If you see Wanwan, please let her know I've sent all her belongings to her workplace. Gao Tian, Yu. Before he could finish, I sniffled, pretending to hold back tears, and hung up. I sat comfortably in my balcony rocking chair, basking in the warm sunlight and playing games. 20 minutes later, a loud knocking came at the door. The star of today's drama, Zhou Bo, had arrived. Gao Tian, you lucky guy. Wanwan still loves you. She'll be here any minute. I feigned surprise. Really? Wanwan still loves me. She's been gone for a month. I thought she'd forgotten all about me. Zhou Bo grew impatient. She calls your name in her sleep, cries every night thinking about you, and can't bear the thought of you suffering. Isn't that love? I pretended to be shocked. How do you know she calls my name in her sleep? Could it be that you too? Zhou Bo panicked. Don't overthink it. We just slept in a double bed, nothing happened. Her heart belongs to you. I smirked inwardly. Zhou Bo, do you really not see yourself as a man? 10 minutes later, the second lead entered the stage. Su Wanwan ran toward me, sobbing, and threw herself into my arms. Gao Tian, I missed you so much. I pushed her away. She stared at me in shock. What's wrong, Gao Tian? Are you still mad at me? She began to wail. I promise I'll never do something so stupid to hurt you again. She tried to hug me again but fell short. Wanwan, what do you really think of me? Every night, you cry in another man's arms, thinking of me. That's a unique way to miss someone. Su Wanwan looked at me in utter disbelief. Gao Tian, what nonsense are you spouting? I didn't. Amid her noisy denials, I calmly opened my laptop and pulled up surveillance footage. In a bar filled with dazzling lights, a girl in a black lace dress danced provocatively. Her drunken, dazed expression was evident as a man pulled her into his arms. After a heated kiss, she stumbled and was dragged into a shadowy corner. The next moment, the man lifted her, and the two became entwined. Su Wanwan collapsed at my feet, sobbing uncontrollably. Gao Tian, please forgive me. It only happened once, I swear. I was so drunk that I mistook him for you. She clung desperately to my leg and turned to point at the stunned Zhou Bo, her voice trembling. It was him. Zhou Bo seduced me. I love you so much I'd never willingly fall for another man. I let out a cold laugh and turned to Zhou Bo. What do you have to say for yourself? A friend's wife is off limits, Jobo. How pathetic must you be to think of sleeping with your buddy's girlfriend? Jobo and I had been college roommates. Once, I accidentally overheard him telling someone he'd been lusting after Su Wanwan for a long time. Unfortunately for him, back then, Su Wanwan only had eyes for me. It seems that all these years of staying close to me were just his way of luring Su Wanwan. Knowing I disliked bars and avoided seeing Jobo, Su Wanwan would still drag me to their gatherings. She seemed to enjoy watching me get jealous. Last night, Fang Yu told me something surprising. She and Su Wanwan weren't really best friends. Wanwan was her stepsister. Every time we dined together, strict as Su Wanwan usually was, she'd bring Fang Yu along. Her sister had never been in a relationship, while Su Wanwan enjoyed being doted on by two men. She invited Fang Yu to flaunt her own happiness. And as for the job I got, it had nothing to do with Su Wanwan. Fang Yu told me she fell for me the moment she saw me at the job fair, but by then, I already had a girlfriend. During a dinner gathering, when she bent down to pick up a dropped spoon, she saw beneath the table Su Wanwan's fair legs intertwined with Jobo's. Since then, Fang Yu had been waiting. Waiting for Su Wanwan to expose her true self. Waiting for me to lose all hope in her. This time, in an unusual move, Fang Yu had joined her sister's runaway scheme, willingly playing a pawn in the drama. 7. Fang Yu's method of keeping an eye on me was unique. As adults, I quickly understood her intentions. Now, facing my questioning, Jobo's face turned red. Through gritted teeth, he asked, "Where did you get that surveillance footage, Gao Tian?" "Of course, from your usual spot." "Fine. Spying on people like this, I'll sue. Sue me. Or the bar." I cut him off. "Bad news for you. That bar happens to be co-owned by my mom and my aunt." Jobo, my girlfriend, ran off without a word. I accessed my own establishment's footage to track her down. "That's not illegal, is it?" The garbage man in front of me immediately deflated. "Gao Tian, if I hadn't been drunk that night, do you think I'd ever do something so stupid as to betray a friend like that? Wanwan's heart belongs to you. She was only drunk and mistook me for you. If you truly love her, you should forgive her." He gritted his teeth as if making a monumental decision. "From now on, I won't have any contact with her." I let out a derisive laugh. "Jobo, it seems you two are the ones who share true love. Even after she's given you everything, you're still eager to defend her." I walked over and patted Jobo's shoulder. "Bro, if your wife can forgive your affair, then I can forgive hers." I pointed at the woman, lying on the floor with tear-streaked cheeks. Jobo's expression instantly became frantic. "Gao Tian, what are you trying to do? Yingying's pregnant. Don't provoke her." "So what? Just because your wife is pregnant, does that mean it's okay for you to cheat on someone else's wife? Man, you've really gone too far." I pointed at the surveillance camera above. "Unfortunately, it's too late. Yingying is watching the live feed right now." Yingying was a university classmate of both Jobo and me. A quiet and innocent girl. Back then, Jobo had to work hard to win her over. When I found her yesterday, she was still somewhat skeptical because Jobo had been so convincing. During this time, he had been by Su Wanwan's side day and night, yet he lied to Yingying, claiming he was away on a business trip. To make up for the wrongs he had done to his wife, he made a grand gesture and booked the best postpartum center in the southern part of the city. Yesterday, I had someone install surveillance at my house and linked it to Yingying's phone. For her convenience in gathering evidence, I even set up high-definition cameras. I waved at the camera. "Yingying, these are the pieces of evidence you'll need when you divorce that scumbag and make him leave with nothing. Be sure to keep them safe." Before I could finish speaking, Jobo, who was burning with rage, punched me. That punch from Jobo cost him 500,000 yuan. After all, it wasn't just my nose that was hurt, it was also my fragile heart. In court, I tried hard to squeeze out a tear. I have obsessive-compulsive disorder. He slept with my fiancée, and now I'm suffering from severe depression. He ruined me, and now I can't even bear to be around women. On the bed, mentally damaged, I pulled my beloved Fang Yu beneath me, spending every night in a blur of passion. Though my salary wasn't low, after all these years of being bled dry by Su Wanwan, I didn't have much left. Jobo's punch came at the perfect time. Looking at the incoming payment notification, I smiled happily. No more worries about the new house's renovation. Zhou Bo, in an attempt to win his wife's forgiveness, started to fight with Su Wanwan. The former lovers tore each other apart in the street, even getting into a physical fight. As a result, their story was secretly filmed and uploaded online. Street comedians, who were always looking for fresh material, couldn't have asked for a better opportunity. Their story quickly went viral, climbing to the top of the trending charts. Ying divorced him. At the hospital, she had an abortion, ending her pregnancy with a male fetus. Her father was so enraged by her disobedience that he ended up in the hospital. Comedians still didn't let Zhou Bo off the hook. A number of internet celebrities began to stalk him at his company. Afraid it might damage the company's image, Zhou Bo was fired. The company Zhou Bo worked for was my subsidiary, and I had introduced him to the job. Whenever he saw me, he'd call me bro from afar. Now, his ingratitude and affair with his buddy's wife had been exposed by his co-workers, who couldn't help but mock him. In his frustration, Zhou Bo got drunk and drove recklessly. He crashed into a large vehicle, severely injuring his neck. He would probably never stand again. 8. Su Wanwan came knocking again. Since the day I found out she had slept with Zhou Bo, I changed the locks. Last time, she knocked at midnight, disturbing the whole neighborhood. I had to call the police. Unfortunately, she was still incapable of changing her ways. I picked up Fang Yu and carried her to the living room. We sat on the floor, letting Su Wanwan hear everything. Unlike Su Wanwan's reckless behavior, Fang Yu was always restrained and controlled. When Fang Yu and I were together for the first time, it wasn't until she went to the bathroom that I noticed the bloodstains on the corner of the bed. No wonder she had been biting her fingers and trembling throughout. Outside, Su Wanwan stopped knocking for a moment. She cried out, "Gao Tian, if you're brave enough, open the door and let me in. I know who she is. I'm going to tear her apart." I pinched Fang Yu's cheek. "Baby, I'm sorry. We'll make it up to you next time. I need to teach the lady outside a lesson so she won't disturb us again." Fang Yu got up and went to the bathroom. I opened the door, and Su Wanwan stormed in, her face streaked with tears. "Gao Tian, you accused me of cheating. You two must have already gotten together, huh?" She cast a resentful glance at the bathroom. "Even if there was cheating, it was mutual. You're just as bad." I scoffed. "Su Wanwan, even if you were a dog, you shouldn't be biting people like that. Do you know how to write loyalty? You're the one who went against your own heart. Why should I stay faithful for a cheater?" I tossed a few papers at her. "Take a look yourself, and don't feel embarrassed." She picked them up, her hands trembling, and after glancing at them, she went wild, tearing them into shreds. "It's fine if you tear it up. I've got plenty more." I pointed to the drawer. That's where a small reporter had given me a set of documents as a gift. To win my favor, hoping to get some juicy info out of me. A thick stack of A4 papers, detailing the times Su Wanwan and Zhou Bo checked into hotels, the bars they frequented, pictures of their intimate dances, even screenshots of them kissing in an elevator. I had to admit, the power of the internet was indeed remarkable. When I saw these things, my heart went cold. It turned out that while I was desperately searching for her everywhere, she was happily playing around with other men. Su Wanwan had once sworn that she had only slept with Zhou Bo once due to being drunk. Later, she changed her story, saying she had slept with him twice. And eventually, even she couldn't remember clearly. But unfortunately, people like her will never understand. The severity of a girlfriend cheating is not something that can be measured by the number of times it happens. For a man, it's about trust, and once that trust is broken, it's irreparable. Out of her loss of control, Su Wanwan started to direct her anger at Fang Yu. She shouted angrily toward the bathroom. "Fang Yu, you shameless bitch. It's because of you that my parents don't like me. Not only did you steal my parents' love, but now you're also trying to steal my men. Fang Yu, if you have the guts, come out here and face me." The door opened, and through the thin mist of steam, Fang Yu walked out slowly, wrapped in a long, soft towel. "Huh, did my men satisfy you, huh? Fang Yu, don't you have any shame? I treated you like a best friend, and now you're stealing my men." I stepped in front of Fang Yu to protect her and said sharply. "Su Wanwan, you need to understand that, first, I'm not your man. I am just myself. Second, I pursued Fang Yu. I went after her. Gao Tian, you admit it, right? You started pursuing her before we even broke up. She was crying and full of emotion. Don't you remember? I'm still your fiancé. I left, and you didn't even look for me, did you? It was all because of her. I sneered. Su Wanwan, is the game Zhou Bo set up for you fun? You always say you love me. So tell me, if I loved you, would it mean tormenting and hurting you? If I loved you, would I greedily enjoy your body, your patience, while gladly accepting other women's advances? Would you still think that's love? Do you really think that's love? I stared at the woman in front of me, her face streaked with tears and her expression frozen in shock. I admit, before I officially broke up with you, I had already fallen for Fang Yu. If you hadn't been so entangled with Zhou Bo, if you hadn't listened to his ideas, leaving the house repeatedly and torturing me, would I have given up on you? After all, I had loved you for 3 years. Su Wanwan, breaking up is just a sentence. There's no need for any ceremony. The moment I discovered your secret with Zhou Bo on the street corner, I had already said this sentence to you in my heart. Su Wanwan left in desolation. Later, I heard from Fang Yu that Su Wanwan went home and cried to her parents, claiming that her sister had stolen her boyfriend. Su Wanwan's mother wanted to say something in her daughter's defense, but when she saw the explosive video of her daughter online, she immediately fell silent. Although her daughter had always been willful and headstrong, as a mother, she never imagined that her daughter would get involved in such a disgraceful affair with a married childhood friend. Wherever Su Wanwan went, people would gossip behind her back. Su Wanwan's reputation was in tatters. She developed depression and spent her days hiding under the covers, thinking about death. In the end, she jumped from the upper floor of the building and broke her leg. Epilogue. 3 months later, my wedding proceeded as planned. My parents were extremely satisfied with this graceful, gentle, and filial daughter-in-law. On the wedding night, I carried Fang Yu to the bed. I gently placed her feet on my lap. I slowly massaged her ankles. The wedding had exhausted her, and I could tell she was tired. Dear, is it more comfortable now? It's still not enough, she said with a soft look. She gently lifted her other smooth foot and nudged me. I wasn't sure when it happened, but this reserved woman had already been trained to be my own personal seductress. I pounced on her. Wife, I've been waiting for this. Outside, the gentle breeze and bright moonlight filled the air. Inside, it was spring all year round. To have such a beautiful companion in this life was more than enough.